Good morning, Geeks and Gamers. The return of our Geeks and Gamers daily show, I think that's what we're going to call it, is here. It was super successful yesterday. You guys showed up. I did 4 streams yesterday, but I'm here getting ready for, I guess, 4 more today, or at least 3 today. But either way, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to get right into it. We got Ryan from RK Outpost and Geeks and Gamers and Sports Wars and every Reddit message board that you can find where they're hating on people on the internet. What's up, Ryan?
That's probably true, except the Marvel spoilers one, which just got privated. Yeah, the return of the stream, which we've only done one of, and it was yesterday. We are now returning today. So it now officially is a daily stream because we've done it twice in a row.
That's right.
So yeah, we got some questions answered that we had from yesterday about the Oscars, and you've got so-called beauty companies. They're deciding to take a stand for very ugly people.
It's amazing. This situation with Dove is amazing, and the ratios are glorious. We're going to talk about that. They're getting involved. Like, I didn't even know Dove had gone super woke. I had no idea.
A lot of these makeup companies have. Now, I can't say that I keep up, too much with the beauty community, but a lot of these companies have been pushing this kind of thing, and it all came to the forefront yesterday, which was the day after the Oscars. You know, Brendan Fraser was one of the big talking points when he won Best Actor for his performance in The Whale. If you haven't watched The Whale, which I haven't, I know a lot of other people haven't, it was a movie where he was playing a man who is like 600 pounds. He was playing an enormous fat person. Look at him right here. Here's a couple pictures. This would be good for some thumbnails, to be honest with you. But like, here is Brendan Fraser, and this is one of the reasons that he ended up winning, because he was putting on a performance. All actors are playing people who they aren't actually in real life. His came with a lot of different hair and makeup things, obviously, to make this happen. But a lot of people are upset about this because they didn't hire a 600-pound actor for the job. It's funny how a lot of these woke corporations, they're totally fine with race swapping. They're totally fine with sexuality swapping. They're fine with all these things. But if you don't give the acting job to a 600-pound person, well, that's just insane. And this is pretty funny. This person right here, like, oh my gosh, KB Halen, who is a disgusting individual, who does side hustle research in fat queer performance studies.
Jeez.
Rats says, so disappointing that The Whale won the Oscar for best hair and makeup. Fat suits are harmful. They're not your opportunity to win awards. Our identity is not your costume. Cast fat actors to play fat characters. Fat is not an identity. Fat is not an identity. It's something that happens when you eat too much, all right? Dove, the beauty company Dove, responds, stop giving fat suits awards. We want better representation in Hollywood. Let's change beauty. This is one of the worst ratios we've ever seen, Jeremy. 719 comments to 12 likes.
Legendary. And let me just be clear. The person tweeting this is more than likely a disgusting fat person. If you go to Dove's account, their headliner, their background profile, go to Dove, not that good.
Well, I know. I just wanted to confirm that you were correct.
It's way too early.
I wanted to confirm that you were correct.
I was talking about the person who's tweeting from Dove, not that person. Don't do that to me again, Ryan. You got to warn me about stuff like that. But you see that together we can end appearance hate. What the fuck are you talking about? This is such nonsense. So again, Dove, so I looked through the timeline last night because I was live on Cobra Cast. Drunk 3PO told me about this tweet, so I started to look through it, and yeah, like their entire timeline is like trans rights, is humans rights, and all this shit. And it's like, bro, as somebody in my comments said, you're a company designed to give people something to wash their ass with. That's it. Like your opinions mean nothing. But again, the woke mind virus continues to take over everything. They have 100. Again, I don't know how Dove has 184,000 followers, but whatever. I have 184,000 followers. That tweet has, what is it, 12 likes? Is that how many likes that tweet has? Yeah. 12 likes and nearly 1,000 now comments, ratioing the hell out of this. And again, this is all we see from these companies. It is unbelievable. So now you have a feel-good story coming out of Hollywood of a redemption arc of sorts for Brendan Fraser, who, you know, is someone who had a lot of success a long time ago. I don't know the whole story about why he went away from Hollywood. I'm not really too caught up on that, but ultimately he has made his return and now he's won an Oscar. You have a feel good story. And now these freaks are making it about being fat phobic and stop hiring people and or stop bringing people in with fat suits. So they're encouraging people to be unhealthy. They want people to be unhealthy because what they want is a world like WALL-E, the Disney Pixar movie WALL-E, where you had all these fat people just laying around in chairs, floating around, watching the TV so it could tell you what to think while they're just shoving food down your face, and you continue to be fat and lazy and reliant upon an entity like a government or something to that nature. That's what they're looking to do. That's what the world is heading towards in this current climate if we don't have more people speaking out and waking up to this bullshit nonsense. And don't let them weaponize, you're a racist, you're a homophobic, you're an ish, you're that. Who cares what they say, because their words are meaningless. The only power that their words have are the power that we give them. And if we just continue to push back, laugh at them, mock them and shame them, then they have no power.
Yeah, and here's the spoiler alert for all these people that want them to cast 600-pound actors. There are no 600-pound actors because there's not a lot of 600-pound people because they fucking die. If you hired a 600-pound person for, I don't know, like a 12-week photo shoot, the odds are they would probably die during it. I'm just being real. Then you'd have to recast. You have to go through all these things. You know, I think that a better idea, I'm going to give Dove some unsolicited advice. You are a beauty company. You should actually be telling these people the truth that they're ugly and disgusting. So they want to buy more of your products to help them not look ugly and disgusting. That's really what you should be doing. This isn't, if you just tell everybody they're beautiful, if you just tell everybody they're perfectly healthy, they don't need to change anything, no one's going to buy any of your stuff. And yeah, this is what we have seen from a lot of these beauty companies, I guess, whether they're being like, hey, look, we can put makeup on this trans person because beauty's for everyone. Hey, look, it doesn't matter if you're morbidly obese and disgusting and you're going to die soon. You still look beautiful to us. And yeah, the outrage at Brendan Fraser over put on a fat suit and acting is ridiculous. And it's good that they're getting absolutely roasted and destroyed for it. Some great comments to go over in that thread. But yeah, it's just an absolute joke.
Well, what we continue to hear from the detractors out there is that, oh, you guys paint negative stories about everything. You can't focus on positive. Here's a positive story of Brendan Fraser winning an award. And the freaks out there that are focused on identity politics and representation and diversity and all that bullshit are now ruining a feel-good story. So, no, we don't ruin anything in terms of, we just call it out. If there's nothing to call out, we can't do your rage bait, as you say. We are just representing the world that Hollywood is. And it's a disgusting, effed up world. It's a horrible place full of horrible people, and they have a horrible mentality. And when you have the old guard of media, which is what we used to have on YouTube, there's no one to hold them accountable. Now you have a new guard of media of sorts, and especially on the YouTube side, and they're being held accountable for everything they're doing, and they hate it. They can't stand that there are people that are not reliant upon their free movie tickets or early access or anything like that. They hate it because they're so used to just handing that out so that they can control what the people that are delivering the message to the general public are saying. It drives them crazy. So we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. And I think I saw a couple people bring it up in the chat as well. The Brendan Fraser, like why he was out of Hollywood. There was a story out there about him, like about some male, either director or producer wanting to fuck him and him saying no. I don't know if that resulted in him getting blacklisted from Hollywood or if that was just a thing that like messed with him mentally, things like that. But I'd have to look more into that because I'm not 1,000% sure about it. But that story was out there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's Drunk 3P on the chat. Hello, Jay. Says fat people use more soap.
Yeah, but fat people can't wash their ass cracks. Jeremy was talking about that Dove sells stuff for people to wash their ass with. Fat people can't do that.
Oh, man. We almost got 1,000 people here. Smash the melee button. This is the new Geeks and Gamers daily morning show for me and Ryan. We're going to cover all of these entertainment topics within an hour, and we hope you're enjoying the show. If you do, smash that melee button. And we got more topics to talk about today because Hollywood is a shit show.
Geeks and Gamers Power Hour. That's what this will be.
Power Hour.
Get through a couple of these super chats. Christian Frakes for 2. Do you know Lobo had his TVMA webtoon? I did not.
No.
Before movies sucked for 11. Brendan Fraser's 54. Oddly enough, they couldn't find a real 600-pound actor over the age of 30. Yeah.
Crazy, shocking. Huh? Shocking how that works out.
6 foot Soka for 5. Morning chuds at the gym right now. Keep up the grift. We will. Captain Orlov for 2. Shout out from the Lions Den, aka California. What's up, man? Emperor Billy Ritchie for 5. Forget Dove. I recommend Old Country soap made by the Amish. 100% woke free. You know, I don't think the Amish are very woke, but I will say it pisses me off when I have to fucking drive behind them when I'm back in Indiana. Wolfsbane for 5. From my understanding, Brendan Fraser is kicked out because he wouldn't have relations with a male producer, resulting in him getting blacklisted. There you go. Like we kind of talked about Wolfsbane. Kizzy for 5. Wow. Dang. A minute. Or wow. Wait a minute. I know 7 dwarves that wish people felt that way, that their roles were considered exploitation.
Well, this is the thing is when you bring like people, like when you bring that argument in, like, oh, actors can only portray you have to be a real fat person to portray a fat person on screen, but you're okay with all the race swapping, gender swapping, and all this other bullshit. Like, it's just nonsense. Mage Demon's just dropping 20s in the chat, just dropping them, not saying nothing, just dropping them and walking away. Got to respect it, just like Ripa says. Thank you. Thank you.
Dropping 2s. Yeah.
So,
or he was dropping 2s yesterday. Now he's dropping 20s.
Hey, I'm okay with it. Is that how it's going to be every time we do this stream? Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Andy plays games for 5. Dove's parent company, Unilever, also owns Ben & Jerry's. No wonder being fat is healthy. Well, Ben & Jerry's are like woke.
They are
insane
psychopaths. People. I like this name, by the way. Morning Glory. I like that. It's pretty good.
Morning Glory. How about G&G Morning Wood?
I actually thought about that because someone suggested that. And I'm like, it's pretty good, actually. I like Morning Glory. Morning Glory sounds pretty good.
Sounds a little self-righteous.
Yeah, so that's what we got a reputation to upkeep on the internet, bro. I mean, nobody knows that better than you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, the Poetic Painter for 5, if the Grand Wizard of the Clan offers either you a hood for your great work against woke culture, would either of you accept it? Be honest. Would I accept an award? Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, I think it would be fake because obviously we know that the KKK, officially supported Joe Biden for president. So
that is true. That is true.
I just don't think that's a realistic thing to answer.
Yeah, they think they're very big fans of Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. So Waffle for 150. I don't know where that currency is from. Do you?
I don't know. It might be Israel or something. It might actually be the Israeli money, but I don't really know what that symbol is. But thank you, Waffle.
Yeah. Let me get this straight. Men that pretend to be women can steal awards from women in sports, workplace, and win Woman of the Year. And yet when an actor pretends to be fat for his role in the movie, aka doing his job, that's not okay. Gotcha. And yeah, and that's it, dude. The hypocrisy from these freaks is unbelievable. And I don't it just continues to be an endless cycle of nonsense. No matter where you turn, no matter what you do, all I'm looking for as a fan, and that's ultimately all I am and all I'll ever be. I was accused of being a professional the other day on Twitter by someone that actually was fat enough to play the whale in real life, shockingly enough. But I'm not a professional. I'm just some random guy that turns the camera on and talks. That's it. And I'm a fan. All I'm looking for as a fan is consistency. That's all I'm looking for. I don't expect perfection. Just try to be consistent and keep identity politics out of it and just make good shit and leave the activist out of it. Bring people in that have a passion for this, that have a talent for this, that have, worked to earn their self into this industry so they can tell good stories so we can get back to the 80s and 90s. don't think that's too much to ask. Here we are.
Azerworm for 5. Is there a way to submit an article for review and potential publication to the G&G website as a one-off?
You can send it to Alex. I think it's A Gurzo, actually. Let me look up his email. He's our editor-in-chief, so I don't handle a lot of the stuff on the website. Our editor-in-chief Alex does. So you can forward that to him. Let me get that email, and I'll
and it's been confirmed by a couple people that is an Israeli shekel. That's a symbol for a shekel. So thank you, Waffle.
Got you.
Mage Demon says yes for Aussie $2 twice. So thank you, Mage Demon.
We like it. We like it. Just send it to Jeremy at geeksandgamers.com and I'll forward it to him. Jeremy at geeksandgamers.com and I'll forward it to him. It's out of my hands after I forward it to him now.
All right. But to focus back on the Oscars a little bit, one of the things we wondered was who's actually going to watch the Oscars. Obviously, after the Will Smith's Chris Rock situation, a lot of people are wondering where we're going to have a repeat. Was there going to be any drama surrounding that? What would happen? And when you do look at the Oscars, if you look at all the mainstream trades out there, what are they saying? Hey, it's a big increase, guys, a 12% uptick in Oscars ratings, a 3-year high for the Oscars ratings. You know, ironically, The Guardian is the one that probably puts it best. Oscars TV ratings improve to 3rd worst ever. And it's true. This is the 3rd lowest rated Oscars of all time. And I like over in this Breitbart article, they compare it to everything that we've seen. Now, the early ratings that came out said around 16 million. We had some later ones come out that said around 18 million. Either way you spin it, it is the 3rd worst of all time. And just look at what we've seen in the past decade for the Oscars. You've got 2013, 40 million, 14, 43 million, 37, 34, 32. You see this drop, 26, 29, 23. And then 10 million, 16 million, and now 18 million. It does not really matter too much. Hey, congrats. It's a 10 to 12% increase. You can't really lie. Those are the numbers. But you've improved to your 3rd worst ratings of all time, likely on the back of people wondering about some drama about Will Smith.
Yes.
And it just goes to show that even when you because there were some things nominated that I don't think you would usually see. Even Everything Everywhere All at Once is not a typical kind of normal like best picture that would be nominated. But you also saw Top Gun Maverick. You also saw Avatar 2. You also saw Elvis. But none of it could really bring them back. Jimmy Kimmel, the Will Smith slap, all that drama, it was not enough to really bring this back to any type of respectable rating. The Oscars certainly are not back at all in any way because it's still woke Hollywood. And it's still these elites that, quite frankly, people are tired of hearing go up there, pat themselves on the back, and tell everybody else how they should live their lives.
Well, yeah, I mean, I 100% believe that any bump that they got, which was insignificant in the bigger scheme of things, but any bump they got was due to the Chris Rock, Will Smith situation for sure. That's been pretty relevant in the discussions in the past couple of weeks because of Chris Rock doing his Netflix special. So coming to the 1-year anniversary of all of this. So Chris Rock covered it, blasted Will Smith. Then there's the reports about Will Smith being upset and, bothered by Chris Rock and all this. So it brought that discussion back to the forefront. That was one of the most viral moments we've seen on the internet over the last year anyway, when Will Smith and Chris Rock had that situation. So to me, that was the driving force that pulls this up to the 3rd worst ranked Oscars ever. I do think that people generally just are not interested anymore. You have alienated so many people in your audience now to the point where people they need a train wreck in order to tune in. They used to tune in because they respected the process. They respected the award show, and they respected, hey, let me see if there's any films that maybe were not on my radar. And then after the Oscars would happen, you would have this massive surge in, whatever film would win, because a lot of times it was a film that flew under the radar. Now it's just turned into nothing more than a bunch of rich people getting into a room together, talking about how much they're better than every other regular person out there that they're talking to and telling you how terrible, that Donald Trump is. People are just tired of it. They're checking out completely. And so I think that next year's Oscars are in bad shape because they don't have that big hook of the Chris Rock, Will Smith element that are going to drive intrigue. So they're going to be in real bad shape. So I just think this is a very, like, again, the fact that we're talking about the third worst ratings of all time and it still needed some type of gimmick in order to get to that point, that just shows you how insanely bad of a position the Academy Awards are in, and they deserve every single bit of it.
Yeah, I agree. And I do believe what you're saying, that it's going to be even worse next year because they're not going to have the back of that Will Smith, Chris Rock drama to go on. And I do think they were trying to make it a focus to not make it as inherently political. But unfortunately, when a lot of these people win and go up there, and you got Jamie Lee Curtis talking about how trans lives matter, you got people talking about drag queens and shit like that. You can't help it because the people that you're giving these awards to, that's who they are. That is inherently who they are, and people do not connect with that anymore. I think that this era, one of the reasons that the movie star seems to have like gone away is because we now see all these people's viewpoints all the time. Like you hear it all the time. It's no longer something special to tune into the Oscars because it was one of the only times for, like for our parents, maybe, that were watching these things, or maybe when we were watching it growing up, whatever. It's one of the only times you get to see these superstars and hear them speak, not from whatever movie they're doing. But now in this age of digital media and social media and everything, that's not the case. We hear them way too much, and that's the problem. So people just don't want to tune in like that time and time again. And yeah, there's no way you can try to spin it. You can try and say, look at this big increase in 3-year high. Yes, it's the third lowest rated Oscars of all time. If that's what you're trying to celebrate, then it says a lot about the sad state that Hollywood's in right now.
But I think Hollywood in general, and you just touched on it, the sad state, I think overall, like, you're in serious trouble, and you break all this down with the ticket sales and the amount of tickets that are being sold. Obviously, the high increases in prices is what offsets it in terms of the box office numbers. But in terms of tickets sold, it's just a dwindling industry consistently. Less and less people are interested. Now, that's due to a couple of things. There's a lot more competition out there. There's a lot more entertainment out there, whether it's YouTube or streaming services or just technology in general is offered a lot more opportunity for entertainment. But when you add the fact that they are actively alienating their audiences constantly, then it leads you to the path that they're on. I think Hollywood's just in big trouble for the long haul.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to cover something else that happened during the Oscars too that I randomly saw on the side of that Breitbart article we looked at. One of the big things that people were talking about for this year's Oscars was the Best Supporting Actress award. And Angela Bassett, everybody thought she was going to win for her role in Wakanda Forever, and it didn't turn out that way. In fact, Jamie Lee Curtis won, and of course, Jamie Lee Curtis went on stage, started talking about trans rights and all these things. But one of the things that people noticed was her initial reaction, because Angela Bassett looked a little bit different. She couldn't keep her poker face on, or maybe she did keep her poker face instead of what it should have been. Here's the reaction. Look at every other person here. Look at their reaction, smiling, happy, good to go. Hey, somebody else won. I'm supporting them. And support women, right? Look at Angela Bassett's reaction.
Jamie Lee.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That is fantastic. She's so fucking mad.
She's so irritated that a white woman won instead of her.
That is great. That is great.
In Wakanda
Holy
Forever.
crap. That is fantastic. She is burnt up over that. You can tell. Right? Holy crap.
You saw like woke Twitter having a meltdown over it too. Random mundane white woman in film, one of the antagonists winning in a film with primarily Asian cast is crazy. People being really pissed that their queen Angela Bassett didn't win Best Supporting Actress. And I think that Angela Bassett is a good actress. I think she's good in a lot of stuff.
She is.
I didn't think she was good in Wakanda Forever because I think that movie's dog shit. I don't think there was any like, oh, well, she was the best part of that movie. I just didn't really see it. It wasn't compelling to me. Maybe that's just how bad that movie was in general. But yeah, she doesn't win. She kind of expected to win by a lot of people. But she couldn't be happy for her fellow females, for supporting women. It just couldn't happen for her.
That is so fun. Did you see the Hugh Grant interview?
Yeah, it was funny.
I put that in a private chat if you wanted to pull that up. But he was completely just like completely checked out. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was when I first saw the headline of it, but it's still funny. It's still funny. You know what I mean? To kind of hear how he's just completely like can't even say anything good about it. You know what I mean? And he's like asked about it and he couldn't even say anything good. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's right here. So Hugh Grant was a presenter at the Oscars. And I mean, Hugh Grant, I felt like 15 or 20 years ago, Hugh Grant was like a big guy that everybody wanted to push and everybody wanted to cast. And then it just, his career trajectory didn't necessarily work out. But a lot of people were talking about this interview saying he's so disrespectful. How dare he put her on the spot like this?
And you've been here a few times. What's your favorite thing about coming to the Oscars?
I don't know if they can hear it. The audio is pretty low on this.
It's
one.
really low. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
let me see. There might be a better quality version. I didn't know it was gonna be that low. Let's see here. Let me see if I can
Jeremy
find.
sent me this one for the record.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that was my bad. So give me a minute. Why the fuck is the audio so bad? That's
because
really
it's
bad.
somebody recording a screen, like they're recording their TV.
Yeah, it's I blame Ryan for it though. So keep looking. Ryan, read some super chats while I find it.
All right. Let's see. Where am I? Taker 610 for 2. Wait, so gay Harvey Weinstein made a pass at Brendan Fraser? Apparently. I think his name was Kevin Spacey. Super Chevy HD for 5. You should have Mortal Kombat style tier list for the Beard of Shame and pit them against each other at the end of the week or month. A March Madness for Beard of Shame.
Hey, we gave away the very first ever lifetime achievement, Beard of Shame, last night on Cobra Cast. Do you know who it went to, Ryan?
Who?
Take a guess. Lifetime achievement, Beard of Shame. It's a prominent person, so it's not like some fat
Were
loser
they
that
in
was
the
fighting.
news a second ago?
They've been in the news for the past few years.
Lifetime Achievement Award for Beard of Shame.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking know.
Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci.
Oh, Fauci?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lifetime achievement. Okay, here's Hugh Grant right here. Here we go. So go ahead and give us the lead in, Ryan.
Yeah, so Hugh Grant was asked, he had to do this interview. It didn't look like he necessarily wanted to be there. And he's getting so much heat from people saying, I can't believe how disrespectful he was. How could he do something like this on this stage? How could he put this interviewer in that position? But it just sounds like he had not too much good to say about Hollywood and the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
A veteran of the Oscars, and you've been here a few times. What's your favorite thing about coming to the Oscars?
Well, it's fascinating. The whole of humanity is here. It's Vanity Fair.
Oh, it's all about Vanity Fair. Yes, that's where we let loose and what are you most excited to see tonight?
To see?
Yeah, well, I know that you probably watched a few of the movies. Are you excited to see anybody win? Do you have your hopes up for anyone?
No one in particular.
Okay, well, what are you wearing tonight then?
Just my suit.
Your suit?
Yeah.
This is so good. This is so good. Like, I'm not saying I'm the biggest Hugh Grant fan or anything. I mean, he did like bang Wesley Snipes instead of Elizabeth Hurley. You know what I mean? So that was kind of weird. Not actually Wesley Snipes. It was a black hooker that looked like Wesley Snipes though. But anyway, this is so funny because most of the time in an interview we're asking these questions, he's essentially just like, they want them to say like, yes, oh, it's such a wonderful moment to be here, surrounded by so many great humanitarians. And we're just going to talk about how diversity and representation is so important. He ain't saying none of that.
Major.
Go ahead. Well, he also, like, she completely missed when he said Vanity Fair. He wasn't talking about like Vanity Fair, the publication, right? He was talking about vanity, like a Vanity Fair, like a phrase that was used hundreds of years ago to talk about, when a lot of people gather to watch something that's like frivolous and obscene and doesn't really mean anything. Right. Like that's what he's talking about. And it completely went over her head. And I think that's kind of why the rest of the interview went this way.
Yep. Here we go.
Tonight, then.
And keep an eye at the end. Keep an eye on his face when it's done. He just has like a, well, see you later.
Just my suit.
Your suit? Who made your suit? You didn't make it.
I can't remember, my tailor.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the tailor.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does it feel like to be in Glass Onion? It was such an amazing film. I really loved it. I love a thriller. How fun is it to shoot something like that?
Well, I'm barely in it. I'm in it for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
There is nothing. She's striking out in every aspect of this interview.
Yeah, like you do got to feel a little bit for her because she's like trying
I know,
to get something out of him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not. You're not getting it from me today."
Credit to her, she is trying. It's just so funny. Everything she's throwing. She went to the easiest fucking question at an award show. What are you wearing?
My suit. Well, who made it? Not you, right? Oh, no.
I don't know his name.
My tailor, I don't know.
You're in this movie. I'm barely in it, really. Here we go.
To shoot something like that.
Well, I'm barely in it. I'm in it for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, but still, you showed up and you had fun, right?
Almost.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. Back to you guys.
The eyebrows, yeah.
Holy shit, that was so funny. There is like you have to have a bit of sympathy for her because she was trying her best, man. Now, if I find out, she's spewed some diversity representation bullshit, then I won't feel sorry for her at all. I'm sure she has. I don't know who that is.
That's Ashley Graham, right?
I don't know who the hell she is.
It looks like Ashley Graham, who is like she was a model. She's not a model anymore, but she was a model back in the day. I don't know what she would be doing there. Maybe she's doing that stuff now. I don't really fucking know, but that's who it looked like to me. I don't know if she's said anything about it since.
That was good. Hugh Grant, I forgive you for cheating on Elizabeth Hurley with a hooker like Wesley Snipes now for that. You finally earned my forgiveness now. That was funny.
There you go. Yeah, yes, that's right. Plus size model for Sports Illustrated. I remember that. Yes.
There you go, right there. There you go.
But she wasn't like she was referred to as a plus size model back when that just kind of meant like curvy instead of fucking morbidly obese, disgusting heifers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what plus size means nowadays.
Yeah.
Like you need a fucking parachute to make enough fabric for these people. All right, let me close that out. We did need to do a reaction, Jeremy, because you mentioned that you have not seen MPower yet.
I have not seen it. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Jed, Hollywood Scholar. He's backstage. He's going to be editing all of these clips together for us. So shout out to Hollywood Scholar Jed.
Yeah, let me pull this up real quick. This is pretty good. I got to share the whole screen.
Yeah, I have not. So I know nothing of this.
Yeah. So it was nearly 5 years ago when Kevin Feige said, you know what, going forward, phase 4 and beyond, everything's going to be about diversity and representation, and it needs to reflect the world in which we live in. Well, and then, he doubled down, continued talking about that, talks diversity in MCU phase 4 and beyond. Well, here's the third part of that story. What went wrong with MCU phase 4, right? But now, instead of maybe course correcting with where they've gone wrong, all this focus being on these characters that nobody cares about, female empowerment for the sake of bringing down men in the MCU, they're just going to double and triple down. We have MPower, baby. MPower is a new series that's going to be on Disney Plus, all about female empowerment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They did put this trailer out. Oh, what do you know? It's been ratioed 36,000 dislikes to 12,000 likes. And Jeremy has not watched this yet.
I have not seen this yet.
We need to do a little reaction, and we need to have them in HD in all their glory here. Oh, there's Angela Bassett, who just lost for this role. Congrats. Here we go.
We've never seen a world.
Well, let's not do it in 2 times speed.
Yeah,
that's how I watch everything.
Yeah, that is how he watches everything.
All right. Here we go.
We've never seen a world like this, populated with so many different faces and colors. It's a beautiful thing to see. About to show these boys how we do it.
We're all recognizing that these stories need to be told about women.
Wanda, her vulnerability in her emotional life is when she's at her most powerful.
It's important to recognize yourself. You could watch it and think, people that look like me, we can be superheroes too.
It's so important for women to be behind the scenes as well. We need all those voices at the table. I learned when you are tested, you're stronger, taller, bigger than you thought.
I'm not interested in the glass ceiling. I'm interested in the brick wall. Because if I take down the brick wall, then we can redesign the building. And that's the only way to go forward.
We have the power to represent what the world looks like today.
We can take these characters' motivations and bring it into our own lives, and it empowers us.
MPower, a 4-part series now streaming only on Disney+.
What do you think, Jeremy? What do you think about taking down the brick wall? Screw glass ceilings, brick wall. We need to tear everything down and rebuild it.
I think Zoe Saldana's hot as fuck. I want to get that out of the way first. I think she's hot as fuck. With that said, that brick wall scene was such a that was cringe beyond belief, because it's the definition of a social justice freak, where she's basically inventing a new enemy, a new thing to overcome that you're not really facing in life. You don't have any real problems in life. You're being handed things just because of what's between your legs at this point in time. You're just being handed things, and then you're being celebrated for absolutely nothing. So now you're creating a fake enemy, a fake thing to be offended over, that you're going to break it down. I'm going to break down the brick wall now. I'm not interested in the glass ceiling. This is just ridiculous. And this is why Marvel is failing. This type of mentality right here is why Marvel is failing, and they are failing pretty badly. You can say that Thor: Love and Thunder made money. That's fine. You can say that Doctor Strange made money. It grossed 900 million, whatever. That's fine. The reality of it is we are seeing massive diminishing returns, and it's because of this mindset right here, this mindset on diversity and representation and inclusion. And you see that ratio represents what the fan base thinks of this. They fucking hate it.
And it's so funny, like the idea to perpetually be like, we have so much to overcome. Zoe Saldana is in like 3 of the top 4 grossing movies of all time. You know, like she probably, when you look at Zoe Saldana's box office numbers, it might be higher than like anyone in history. Like when you look at the movies that she's been in, the franchise that she's been in, and we continue to see this. You can watch it and think, people that look like me, we can be superheroes too. When have there not been black superheroes? When have there not been even black female superheroes?
Well, since Black Panther became the first movie ever with black superheroes in it, we've seen a lot of representation, Ryan. I think you should be sensitive to that.
Yeah, and then you have friggin' Elizabeth Olsen talking about how when she's emotional, like she's at her most powerful. This is a woman who in the MCU took over and enslaved an entire town and saw absolutely 0 repercussions from it. That's female privilege right there. That's female empowerment.
Yes.
But this is in a big way why Marvel is failing. It's because they're doing things like this and trying to celebrate people because of their gender, because of their skin color, trying to push them for those reasons to be so virtuous, instead of just focusing on telling a great story, focusing on actually giving the fans what they want with these multitude of characters that you haven't used, you know, storylines that you skipped over. Also, you could get to the Miss Marvels that's failed time and time again. So you could get to the Captain Marvel, this iteration of Captain Marvel that's failed time and time again. And MPower, I think we already know how the fans feel about it. So.
Yes. There is no scenario in a wide media release where identity politics is going to be successful. There's just no scenario where that's the case. When you focus on identity politics, diversity, representation, inclusion, when that is your focus, it will fail every single time. You will fail. Now, the whole reason that Hollywood continues to get involved with these properties like your Star Wars, like your Marvel, like these big tentpole properties, your Doctor Who's, your Star Treks, all that, because you have a built-in fan base. So they can still put out this image that we have fans. Fans are interested in our stuff. Look at how much money this makes. Look at the convention numbers. Look at the interest out there. But that's because you've hijacked a pre-existing fan base. You cannot start from the ground up and build something off of representation, diversity, and inclusion and all that bullshit. You can't do it. So look at everything that it has impacted. Is anything better? Is any property better today than it was 5 years ago that has been hijacked by the identity politics, woke mind virus? Is any property better off? Name one. I want you to name it right now. All you fucking freaks on Twitter. Is Star Trek better? Is Star Wars better? Yeah. Is Marvel better? Where's Ghostbusters 2016 sequel at? We got Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was okay,
fine,
but it wasn't a continuation of Ghostbusters 2016. Name me the fucking property that is better from 5 years ago from then to today. Name it. Name the property that's focused on identity politics that is better. You can't fucking do it because it does not exist. And that is wokeness in a nutshell.
And you gotta love some of the comments. The comment section has become like an awesome part on YouTube when you go to these things, see it, the ratio. The part where the villain said, "I have an army," and the hero said, "We have women," is really inspiring. Really chills and tears. I love the part where they believe superficial traits make a heroine relatable. It gives me chills every time. Our female lead content's doing horribly. We're losing money. What do we do? Keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
I love the part where Kevin Feige said, "Let's rebrand Disney Plus to Disney Minus so it fits our revenue." And everyone at the Disney headquarters gave him a standing ovation.
Oh, man. By the way, so if you're just tuning in, this is our new daily show, Monday through Friday here on Geeks and Gamers. Me and Ryan run through some of the entertainment topics going on. It's going to last about an hour every day, Monday through Friday. We'll take your questions if we can get to them. We do appreciate the super chats. We're going to read some of those super chats. But we're here every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, for an hour to run through these topics. You guys have been super supportive, and we really do appreciate it. So it's great to see so many people here, except for Dan Vask. It's the only person I don't want to see here. At least we got a respectable check mark in the chat. Yellow Flash is here. But
Yellow Flash just can't stop talking about Blade.
Blade is amazing.
Yellow Flash loves black people.
Yeah, he's a big fan of black people. He's definitely not racist at all, because he's a big fan of Blade. But Blade is an all-time great comic book film. Shout out to Wesley Snipes. I still think that he should have never been in trouble for tax evasion because of Passenger 57 and Blade.
Yeah,
like that should have gotten him off the hook.
No one should be in trouble for not paying your taxes because they just waste it all anyway.
That is true.
Hero Return of the Humans for $2 over on Rumble says support the geeks and other creators on Rumble. Thank you very much.
Yes, we are on Rumble. We are on Rumble. So thank you very much for that.
Where was I? The Poetic Painter for 5. Since big corps are showing they're willing to go broke for the sake of going woke, would you guys say your anti-woke campaign is failing? I don't think I'm on an anti-woke campaign. I'm just giving my opinion on these things and what's ruining them. And no, if big corporations go broke for the sake of going woke, I wouldn't say that anyone's anti-woke campaign is failing if they have one.
Yeah, I would say I would pose the same exact question. When I said name a property that's gone woke that's better for today than it was 5 years ago, I can say in terms of approaching calling wokeness out, I can say Geeks and Gamers is much better place than it was 5 years ago than today than it was 5 years ago. So we've grown significantly, and so we've seen massive success through that. But ultimately, Geeks and Gamers is not just simply a thing to call out wokeness. We're just fans with voices, and generally speaking, a lot of us don't like what we're seeing in the entertainment world. But I think it's undeniable, and I don't even think you can't even debate that the entertainment world has been overrun by wokeness. It just has been. Now, if that works for you, if you like it, that's your business, but it's not going to last forever. And when you see things like when are we? I guess we're going to get an announcement for a new Star Wars movie at Celebration. That's the rumor, right, Ryan? Is that the rumor?
That's what they're saying. They've confirmed that the only ones in production actively are the Taika Waititi one, where he's looking to potentially star in it as well. And the one from Damon Lindelof, I believe, are the only two ones that are like actually in production right now, at least that have been like confirmed.
And do you remember, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, so before the Rise of Skywalker, definitely after The Last Jedi, before the Rise of Skywalker, they had it set up for a Star Wars film every year, multiple Star Wars films every year. You remember that? So they had Rian Johnson's trilogy.
The plan was boom, 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 every December or something.
Yes, they had Rian Johnson's trilogy set. They had the Benioff and Weiss trilogy set. They had all these other projects from one-off people. You had Kathleen Kennedy saying that she was just dedicated to having a female director, yada, yada, yada. Guess what? No fucking Star Wars movies since Rise of Skywalker. Not one. Nothing. No trailers, no behind the scenes, no announcements, no nothing. Why? Because of wokeness. Because we, the fans, were right. Once again, we told you. What did we tell you, all you blue-haired landwells on Twitter? What did we say? Star Wars is a disaster. Star Wars is going in the wrong direction. It's bad. Rise of Skywalker made $1 billion, and that's how they presented it. They said, hey, look, it made $1 billion. It lost 50% of his audience from The Force Awakens. It was not successful in any capacity, in no scenario, losing 50% of your audience in just a few years span is good. There's nothing good about that. And so wokeness is a disease. It has destroyed Star Wars. It's going to destroy Marvel. It already is in a lot of ways, and it's going to continue to destroy everything in its path.
Yep. Dave Nunn for 10. Fat positive soap makes sense from their standpoint. Bigger you are, the more soap you need. That's what Jay said too. Mage Demon for 20. Loving this new stream with you, baguettes. Well, see you later.
See you later.
Thanks, Mage Demon.
Hey, we're glad you guys like it. We are. We're glad you guys like it. And as I said yesterday, I recognize that we've had a lack of content on this channel from consistency because I'm focusing on so many different things. This gives us consistent content, daily content, but then we clip out the segments and upload those as individual videos. Just understand notifications are going to be screwed. So there's not going to be notifications. You're probably not going to get a notification for Tuesday night's main event tonight. And we're uploading the vlog. So we did a vlog yesterday. We went to the world's biggest McDonald's. That's going to be uploading today along with all the clips. So you're just going to get a shit ton of content here on the main channel. And I'm just not even going to worry about notifications anymore. So because you only get 3 in one day. In a 24-hour period, you get 3 notifications. I usually try to strategize around those, but at some point we're just going to pump the content out.
Yeah, Jeremy tries to strategize around those by not releasing any videos and just streaming. So yeah, we're just going to start putting them all out.
I did 4 streams yesterday and I got 3 today and 4 tomorrow. So let's go.
Mark Gurley for 5. Poor marketing for some of these movies. Also a reason why they fail. Like Nortman, FYI, Shazam's out this weekend. You don't see it anywhere. Well, some of these companies don't have any money to fucking promote. I've seen a lot of Shazam stuff. In fact, they spoiled it in some of their marketing. But yeah, Taker for 2. How do you guys rate the new Mario Kart content? Haven't played it.
I do not like the tour tracks at all. I just don't like them. They're too confusing. So I would take the tour track. If I could take the tour tracks out completely, that would make me happy. It's a fucking mobile game, so it's not a real fucking video game anyway. So yeah, if you take the tour tracks out, I'd be completely happy with it. I need to practice more though. I've turned into like Ryan with Mario Kart, where I play it once a week whenever it's time to stream it, and that's it. I don't even practice anymore. I just play it because I want to play Fortnite.
Dermy Wormy for 2. Jed is uber gay. Thank you. Devlin Alistair for 10. Congrats on your Oscar win. Jamie Lee, I have questionable taste in Art Curtis. Gerald Armstrong for 2. The legendary superheroes are all men. I think really you've got. I mean, you can put Wonder Woman up there, but yeah, she's not on the same level as Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Like, she's just not. Infinity Flare for 2. Soon we won't care enough to roast the MCU. That's the point it's coming to. Lane Martinez for 5. I love it because nobody likes it, so they'll keep losing money. Callum Law for 5. I have very sinister opinion about body positivity. Is the people who promote it are telling people to slowly delete themselves, but in a soft way. I mean, that is what's happening. Iram Amin for 20,000 IDR. I don't know what that is, but thank you. Does the M in MPower stand for menstrual? Probably. Lane Martinez for 2. I should also add fuck Disney. Yes. Crazy Clown Town member for 7 months. Thank you. Callum for 5. She-Hulk for me is the final black pill. It showed me that women these days seem to want to destroy everything like a common cause. Well, women can't build anything. They can only destroy. Azrael Dark Hour for 10. My favorite black superhero story was Netflix Luke Cage. Second only to Kazam. Do you remember Kazam, Jeremy?
Yes.
Was that the Shaq one? Was that Kazam?
I think that was that's what I'm thinking, right? It's a Shaq movie.
I think it was.
Am I right about
Shaq
that?
movie.
Yeah.
That was so terrible.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think I ever saw it. I remember the movie being like a thing. I don't think I ever saw it. I don't think I've ever seen any movie with Shaq in the lead. Like, how many movies have been in the lead role? I don't think I've ever seen a Shaq movie where he's the lead.
Other than that one, you mean?
Yeah, isn't he in a couple? Isn't he in a couple of like really bad ones?
I don't know if you like that was a him movie. I'm sure he's like made an appearance or like he was in an Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Movie.
He was fine in that one. He was fine in that Adam Sandler movie.
Gung Ho Mac for
Steel,
5.
yeah, Steel.
Oh, he was in Steel,
and I haven't seen Steel either. I've
That's
never
right.
seen.
That's right.
Yep. Blue Chips. Was he in Blue Chips? He was in Blue Chips, but that wasn't a Shaq movie per se. Well, I like Blue Chips. Blue Chips was good.
Gung Ho Mac for 5. Love the new G&G Morning Wood show. Getting Up is Hard. That's a good one.
That is good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Poetic Painter for 5. For people who call the likes of you guys bigots, can you tell them what your favorite show or movie with predominantly minority cast is? Predominantly minority. Listen, all of us, at least me, Jeremy's older than me. So I can fucking tell you when I was growing up, like it seemed like all the shows I watched were all black people. Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I used to watch Cosby Show. I think it was reruns at that point of the Cosby Show. Yep. Like the idea that
a different world.
Where's all the bigots that are out there, all the fucking people that hate black people that are downvoting the Little Mermaid trailer? Where were they for all the Creed promotional material? Yeah. Where were they downvoting Creed 3? Mm-hmm. Please tell me where they are. They're not there. It's such a joke.
Well, I've talked about this many times, and I'll keep repeating it. Like all of these leftists, these white leftists, like watch a movie called Boys in the Hood. Watch Menace to Society. Watch Juice. Watch Above the Rim. Watch Poetic Justice. You know what's going to happen when they watch those movies? They're going to be fake offended. They're going to be so upset by the real stories that are being told. Like those are some brutal stories in those, movies. And then I've talked about Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time, with the Wayans brothers. You want to talk about a white leftist being fake offended over that one, man? Come on, dude. Like there's so many offensive jokes in that movie, and it's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of all black films or all the films that don't have white people in it or whatever. It was Squid Game. I loved Squid Game. All right, then Cobra Kai is a film, a show, that focuses on kind of like moving us past the old guard, but it has this diverse new cast in it that it doesn't define it off of the diversity of them. You just have new characters in the show, and it's done the right way. There is nothing inherently wrong with diversity. There is something massively wrong with focusing on diversity, with making diversity your priority. When your priority is diversity, there is something massively wrong with that. If you're just genuinely trying to tell a good story and you just end up with diversity in there, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not what we're seeing in Hollywood.
Remember, Patrick Milner says, remember Shaq started the first ever black superhero movie called Steel, based on the DC character even before Blade.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that came out before Blade, but yeah, I guess late 90s.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Callum for 2. My favorite is a 2003 movie called Lockdown. Go.
Lockdown.
Ruthie for 5. Hi, Jamie and Ryan. Can you guys cover the Selena and Hailey Bieber drama? Probably not.
What is
I know
that?
Selena Gomez used to date Justin Bieber, and I think Justin's wife, Hailey, has like called her out on TikTok or some shit. I don't fucking know.
That sounds like a poor choices topic right there.
I will say the best thing about Selena Gomez getting fat is that now she's slimming down. Her tits are still really big, which is awesome. So congrats to her.
Selena Gomez a singer?
Yes.
I don't know one single song from her. I don't know one single song from her. I'm so happy that I'm so detached from like current music. Like I know nothing. Like, bro, like I told you, like what's the weekend? Blinding Lights. All right. I'd only heard that song for the first time like a year and a half ago.
I feel like you've heard it, you just didn't remember.
Well, all I know is when I heard it, I loved it because I'm like, this is fucking phenomenal because it sounds like an 80s song. You know what I mean? But I'd never even heard it. And it had like 1 billion views on YouTube. And I'm like, how the hell did I not know this song? I know nothing about current music at all. So I listen to video game soundtracks and movie soundtracks.
Yeah. Everyone's saying Selena Gomez is a Disney child actress. She's 30 years old. Like now. So she's old as fuck. I can't believe she hasn't like killed herself or something by now, like a lot of those Disney actresses. Callum for 5. I hope Last of Us gets a season 2 because it'll show the truth about Neil Cuckman and his mindset. And he does have a thing for trans people. Well, it'll get a season 2. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I heard that the season finale had a pretty strong ending. I
actually heard the opposite. I
Really?
heard that it didn't. That it's clear that like they didn't give enough time and dedicated to like the actual part of the storyline that really mattered in terms of like this potentially saving people, and that people were complaining they spent way too many episodes on all the gay shit. And this was kind of a rushed season finale. That's what I heard, but I didn't watch it because I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped watching after episode 4, so I was checked out after that, so I couldn't get back into it.
Jenna Hughes for 20. I am fat, and 9 years of heel issues and surgeries haven't helped. It's a struggle. I hate that obesity / body positivity is a thing. It's not positive in any way. I'll get back there. Exercise, baby. I'm on it. Love you too. Thank you, Jenna.
Hey,
and shout out to continuing that journey. And that's the entire thing is if you actually want to talk about self-love, it's having enough love for yourself to make yourself healthy. And if you want to talk somebody supporting somebody, it's the actual, hey, it is okay for me to tell someone that what you're doing is wrong and what you're doing is destroying yourself. And if you care enough about people to tell them that, that's a good thing. Yeah,
I mean, I was just I was scrolling, obviously you guys know we're working with Meta PCs, and I was scrolling Twitter today. I saw Zach's post, where he posted about how he was a little overweight and he was like tired of feeling like shit, and he posted what he's looking like now. You know what I mean? And he's looking real good, and he's obviously tightened up. He's lost some weight, and he's probably feeling much better about himself. And that's the whole point behind it. You're welcome to do whatever you want. You can look however you want. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. That's fine. But when you have companies that are actively encouraging you to not be healthy, it is disgusting. It's sick and twisted. There is nothing positive about that. So I think that, motivating people to change that is a very positive force. And maybe it's a little brutal. Maybe it's a little tough. Hey, that's reality. And that's life. That's how life's always been. And if you're comfortable in your own skin and you feel like you don't need to change, then you don't have to change. No one's telling you have to, but you should, for the betterment of your life.
Yes, indeed. We're going to run through these last couple super chats. We're going to call it a day. Brian Doyle for 2. Harlem Nights was hysterical. Though Poetic Painter for 5. I had you guys wrong. Thanks for taking time to answer my series of questions. I was misled by Twitter. You earned a new fan. There you go.
Hey,
want to ask us about our favorite shows. So very cool.
Hey, appreciate that. Yeah, I guess that sometimes like we have our audience is there's a lot of sarcasm in our audience sometimes. And shout out to Blue Eyed Scorpio and Gung Ho Mac and Viper Chief. But there's a lot of sarcasm out there. But yeah, if you're a person who ran across us on Twitter or some of the clips on Twitter and you ever have genuine questions, we will try to answer those questions and try to give you clarity. I respond with sarcasm a lot as well, just because that's how the internet is. But I can promise you that Twitter is like usually misrepresenting anything and everything we say, and I have no problem answering any concerns or questions that those might bring for people that aren't aware who we are. So,
Derek PG Baylor for 5. The original Sonic the Hedgehog soundtrack was great. Tell me it doesn't hit your nostalgia button. It does, actually. That is a good soundtrack.
Yes. Legal Mindset will be on main event tonight. So Legal Mindset will be joining us for Tuesday night's main event live tonight here on the Geeks and Gamers channel. Again, I don't know how many notifications we're going to have. So make sure you are subscribed and make sure you just keep an eye on that live tab. So on YouTube, you have the videos and you have the live tab. We'll get that event set up really early, and we probably need to be a little more earlier about that. We'll have it on Twitter. We'll have it on Discord. We'll have it on Locals. So there will be notifications through those areas as well. So just stay tuned for that.
Yep. Luckily, it's Tuesday night, so you know when to tune in.
That's right.
Strong and Grand for 10. Salute to both you fine gentlemen. Did you hear about Disney possibly suing Reddit for Ant-Man 3 leaks? Sounds like a deflection to make up for the crap movie. Womp womp. Yeah, we might talk about that tomorrow. It is not as cut and dry as I think most people are probably going to react to it. Like it's not just like normal leaks that come out that's like, here's the plot synopsis, because you can't really sue for copyright or anything for that. A script leaked for Ant-Man, like the entire 63-page script leaked like a month before it came out. And they do have some like legal things they can do about that. But yes, so we might talk about that tomorrow. Taker for 5. Women and non-white people just started existing around 2015, according to these woke weirdos. The world today looks just like it did 100 years ago, except fatter. Yeah. Bruce for 2. Can we get a push for Jay's book? Just broke 59K. Yes.
Let's go.
Go check out Achromatic Chronicles Blue. That's Jay's book over at Indiegogo. I'm sure we got it. Maybe, I don't know if we have any mods, to be honest. So I'll just find it.
Okay. We probably do. Jed has a wrench, so he could do it. And so Don says, D-Day Cover, thanks, buddy. We enjoyed having you on Legal Mindset last weekend. Come back and bring Ryan sometime. Heck yeah, man. It was great being on. So I'm looking forward to having him on tonight. And that is awesome. Best game soundtracks were the original Streets of Rage on Sega Genesis. The guys who made it actually put on DJ shows with the music. I remember Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage was awesome. My personal favorite video game soundtrack is Super Mario Galaxy 1. It's just a masterpiece in my opinion. It's not even close. I love it so much, but I love a lot of video game soundtracks, whether it's the Chrono Trigger soundtrack, Chrono Cross, the Legend of Zelda games. Wind Waker has the Wind Waker has some of the best music ever in video games. And I could just listen to a lot of these scores like constantly. I love video game and movie soundtracks, whether it be Interstellar, my favorite movie, also my favorite movie soundtrack. And as much as I crap on Man of Steel, can we talk about how that soundtrack is truly one of the best soundtracks ever?
It's great.
Like, holy shit, Hans Zimmer crushed it on that. And then anything John Williams. So
right, Hero Return of the Humans for 2. Heroes waiting for viewers and fans. SJW free over on Rumble. Thank you. Bird Up for 5. Best game soundtracks are original Streets of Rage.
Got that one.
Oh, you just said that one. All right, cool. Yeah. And that is it. Jed did put Hollywood Scholar went ahead and threw Jay's Achromatic Chronicles Blue link in the chat. Jay's very close to 60K. So big shout out to him for that. Go check it out.
Yep. And we do have the Streamlabs here. Crispy Noken hang on, refreshing. Crispy Noken, good morning, geeks and gamers, in my Robin Williams voice. Thank you. Enoch Maman for 3. I don't know about you, but the Shazam 2 trailer just pisses me off. Let me get this straight. You want me to watch this movie that you have admitted is getting retconned by having an actress that we all love and you fired? It feels like a fuck you. Yeah, Shazam, I'm not feeling the Shazam franchise. You think that's going to be a disaster, don't you?
Yeah, mostly because they increased the budget on this one. The reason the first one was successful, even though it didn't do like gangbusters or anything, it made like 370 million at the box office, but it had an $80 million budget. So they made a decent little chunk of change, probably over $100 million in profit on that movie, which is nice. For this one, they upped the budget to like 125 million, maybe even more. So it needs to make at least as much as the first one just to break even. I don't see that happening in the current time frame. And with the announcement that DC's probably going to get rebooted in some way, shape, or form, people don't really know. There's a lot of uncertainty. But yeah, this isn't even really a spoiler because they put it in their own ads. Gal Gadot does make a cameo appearance in it. So
there you go.
And I think they put that in the ad specifically to desperately try to get people to go. That's what I think.
Yeah, and listen, between Marvel and DC and Star Wars, they're all three in really bad places. Okay, Ryan, of those three, who's in the better position for the next 2 years?
I don't know. I think I missed a super chat too. There was a super chat about DSP on side scrollers that I missed. I forgot who sent it, but I remember showing it. I just don't think I read it.
Oh, here we go. Aid Robertson for $4.99 says, "Hey, hi Jeremy and Ryan. DSP is doing an interview with side scrollers on Thursday."
Yeah.
Yes. So obviously we know Craig, and yeah, I mean, me and Ryan's already talked to Craig about it, especially Ryan, because Ryan knows his stuff about this. Ryan, give us your quick.
Like he had no. So Craig knew of DSP. He didn't know all the DSP lore at all, and so obviously he's learned a lot of things in the past couple of weeks. There's going to be a lot of people that are watching that interview on Thursday. I know that he's been trying to get us caught up on the DSP saga and get actual questions from people that want things answered about DSP, right? A lot of the criticism that's come his way, a lot of the detractors that have put their stuff out there. Yeah, for sure. So I think a lot of people are going to tune into that podcast.
It's going to be interesting. Shout out to side scrollers too. I think they're about to go live, or they just went live. They usually go live at noon. And so I was a guest on there. Obviously some Geeks and Gamers people over there. And there might be more side scroller stuff in the future with Geeks and Gamers. Time will tell. We'll see. But I like side scrollers. And I like Craig. He's good people. All right. So one more time. Ryan, in the next 2 years, DC, Marvel, or Star Wars, who's in better shape for the next 2 years? This is such an impossible question.
I think you kind of have to say Marvel by default, because they're actually going to have content. Like they're the only ones that are going to put anything out. Like DC, it's going to take DC. They have the Flash coming up and Blue Beetle and then Aquaman. Then they're not going to have anything for like 2 years because everything is just starting to go in production.
Yeah.
Star Wars isn't going to have a movie out in 2 years. They're just going to have The Mandalorian next season, maybe Book of Boba Fett too. You know what I mean? So like now that does give Marvel the opportunity to lose more money.
Yeah.
Than the other ones. But I think that just by default, in terms of like a business standpoint, I kind of think you have to go with Marvel because at least they're going to be putting stuff out. Nobody else is.
Yeah. I see Bounding in the comments in the chat. What's up, Bounding?
What's up, Bounding? Yes, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's kind of my
Marvel is definitely in better shape, but that is relative given it all looks terrible. Yeah. I mean, it's such a bad scenario right now with all three of them. So I guess we'll see. But this is the end of the stream. Bashy Washy says, "Hail Jeremy and Ryan. Love the show with regards to FNT stunt. I think you guys broke Gavin's narrative that he was coming with, and he had to do that." Let me I'll answer that question. And then Steel Leg of History, I just want to go back to the days where we got original movies, but I doubt it'll ever happen again. I miss growing up in the 80s. Be blessed, you two. Thank you, Robert. In terms of Bashy Washy, Gavin responded and talked about it on his show. We're going to cover that tonight on Tuesday Night's Main Event. I talked about it a little bit on CobraCast last night, so we'll play that clip of Gavin responding to Friday Night Tights and what happened. So we'll talk about that tonight on Tuesday Night's Main Event. So let's see where are we at.
E1337 Neo for 5. All those awesome video game soundtracks, and no one mentioned Mega Man.
Oof, Mega Man. Actually, I forgot to respond to this because Quarter Black Garrett tagged me like your favorite video game art or something. I was gonna put the Mega Man 3 just because there's so much nostalgia for me. Mega Man 3 on the NES, such great box art, and yes, the soundtrack's fantastic. I'd love to play through the Mega Man games again over my Twitch channel, but we're calling it there. Look forward to the clips. Look forward to Tuesday Night's Main Event tonight. Thank you to Jed. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Another successful Geeks and Gamers daily show. Delvin for 10 says, the body positivity movement reminds me of the marketing department for Sweetums on Parks and Rec.
A good show.
I've never watched Parks and Rec, so never watched it. So I'm too busy playing
You,
Fortnite.
you probably wouldn't have any respect for Ron Swanson after you saw him get butt fucked in Last of Us. So.
All right, guys. Thank you. Smash the melee button. We appreciate all of you. Clips will be coming out all through the day. The vlog from the world's biggest McDonald's, and then Tuesday night's main event tonight. Thank you, guys. Have a great night, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.